Hi guys, Hector here with a super quick mini guide to the fixed Stampede strat for Ecliptic Stampede at the end of M11S. For this strat, the beginning of it plays out exactly as you're probably used to. Melee's hiding middle, range players out, two random range players marked, and one of them goes to the north wall, one of them goes to the south wall. They dodge the proximity explosions, and from here it's just puddle baiting. This plays out exactly the same as you're probably used to. Where things start to differ is when the towers spawn in. We're going to use a different priority to decide who's going where for towers. Tanks are going to use the usual priority of main tank going clockwise from north and off tank going counterclockwise, but for the other players, this is going to be a different order. We're going to actually split the melees up. M1 will go clockwise and M2 will go counterclockwise, each of them partnered with a healer or ranged in their tower. For the healers in range, things are a little bit more complicated. Because any two of the four range players could be middle, we need to use a 4-player priority system to decide who's going where. This means that if it's a healer in a range middle, the healer goes clockwise, the range goes counterclockwise. If it's two healers, H1 goes clockwise and H2 goes counterclockwise. And if it's two ranged, R1 goes clockwise and R2 goes counterclockwise. This means H1 is always going clockwise, R2 is always going counterclockwise, and it's only R1 and H2 that have to adjust. Once players go to their towers, you'll see that now we've got one melee and one range in each of the two-person towers, and how they position in the towers is important. See, we've worked out that the tethers that are going to appear from portals shortly always lock on to the nearest player to the middle of each tower. If the melees hug near to the boss, and the healers are range stack right in the middle of their tower, that should mean the melees are never going to get tethered. This is super helpful for uptime, as both melees will get to keep their uptime on the boss throughout this mechanic, helping you with a pretty tight DPS check. More importantly, though, we don't have to use eyes because the 4 players in middle are always going to be the 2 melees and the 2 fire puddle baiters, so we're going to use fixed positions in middle for them. Melees are always on the southern corners of the boss in these positions, and the fire baiters are going to go to the northern corners, the north fire baiter to the northwest, and the south fire baiter to the northeast. Tether players are going to do exactly as before, go opposite your portal and stretch it out clockwise. From here, 4-way fireball plays out exactly as you're used to. We're taking it in pairs on the intercardinals and we're already split into 2s. But for 2-way fireball, we can now fix things to avoid any shuffle of who's doing what for the inner players. Melees should always be 2 of the players that are inside the hitbox right now, so melees are always going to be the ones to bait these. M1 baiting it left, M2 baiting it right, and this is always going to be with them standing on the hitbox and everyone else being slightly outside of the hitbox to not accidentally bait 2 the same way. And that's it. That's the whole strat. This is catching on pretty quickly in Party Finder, so I hope you find this guide useful.